Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the Ingrove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for March 29th, 2024. Pretty massive new arrival where I couldn't fit everything in a row. Seems like that's kind of how it happens. If you have a light week, your next week is typically pretty large because the light weeks often result from them not shipping things in time. Okay, but before I get to any of this, I will talk to you guys about this week's announced pre-orders. The big one is Analogue Productions announced they're doing like a little miniature series from Pablo. Pablo, great jazz label. I think it was underappreciated for a lot of years. Audiophiles always loved the label, but it was a very underappreciated label for a lot of years. They were mostly relegated to the dollar bin until maybe about, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe 15 years ago they started creeping up, but everything kind of crept up 15 years ago. But it's 15 titles. They're all at 33 RPM, and it looks like this series is going to be done by the end of the year. So it's not going to be a long, drawn-out series, not like the Atlantic series, where they're coming out over the course of the next 3 years. This is a pretty quick, by the end of the year, these 15 titles are coming out. I think a lot of these, too, were actually being pressed from existing metalwork, whether it's classic records or stuff that Analogue Productions did in the past. Pablo is a catalog that Analogue Productions has been putting titles out probably going back to the 90s. I want to think I've got titles from them. So kind of looking forward to it. It's solid. They're 33 RPMs, which I love. You know, everybody, some people don't like 45s, but everybody likes 33s, right? Not many people are like, no, I only buy 45 RPM records. So yeah, 33. It's a great, you know, I'll have the first title probably in a couple weeks, but it's a great solid series. Check out the titles. We got them available for pre-order on the website. It's kind of funny. I remember doing a show maybe about 10 years ago, a record show, and a guy had a great jazz collection. I bought most of the jazz records from him, but he had a box of nothing but mint Pablo. It was a U-Haul box. Mint Pablo records in the shrink. He wanted $50 for the whole box. I didn't even buy it because you couldn't really sell the records back then. $50. I think by the end of the show, somebody gave him $20, and he sold an entire box of mint in the shrink, hype stickers, the whole 9 yards, Pablo records for $20. But if you listen to them, they're fantastic, and it's some of the most legendary artists on the label. But it was towards the end of their career. But Ella, Count Basie, Duke Ellington. I mean, it was like the who's who of the jazz world in like the 40s and 50s. But this was kind of towards the tail end of their careers. But cool series. I'm excited about it. The next thing is the Dark Matter title from Pearl Jam. They are doing, well, they're doing a ton of variants, but they're doing a specific variant exclusive to Las Vegas and Arizona. So you have to get this specific, I think it's a color variant. I don't think it's a cover variant. I think it's a color variant, but specific to this region. So we have that available on the website for pre-order. They're calling it a Las Vegas Arizona exclusive. The next two Blue Note Tone Poets have been announced, killer titles, especially the Hank Mobley Workout, May 17th, and Stanley Turrentine's Blur Hour, April 19th as well. Both of those come out, wait a minute, excuse me, the Dark Matter comes out, Dark Matter comes out May 17th, and the Blue Note titles come out April 19th. My chicken scratch was not written very well. Okay, this is kind of cool. It is and it isn't because they're not the best records, but they're doing a Black Sabbath box set called Aneo Domini. Comes out in May, but it's a box set essentially of just 4 albums. But it's the 4 albums that aren't necessarily the best Black Sabbath albums, but they're like the most difficult and hardest Black Sabbath albums to find. You got Tire, Cross Purposes, Forbidden, and Headless Cross. So very expensive, extremely difficult Black Sabbath albums to find. All put in the box set coming out in May. Dehumanizer, which was I think in that era as well, that already came out as a standalone. And then a new David Bowie album, Rock and Roll Star. Not new music, but I think it's alternate takes. It's like an alternate version of an album. Looking at the track listing, I have to dig a little more research into that. That just popped up 20 minutes ago before I filmed this video. But David Bowie, Rock and Roll Star, that comes out June 14th. But yeah, pretty solid week for new arrivals. Okay, show you some new stuff, show you a few restocks in the back. I'll start with the Steely Dan Asia SACD. Analogue Productions SACD of Asia. I got a restock on Dark Side of the Moon, which, like, God, the Pink Floyd SACDs are constantly being restocked. It's like, it doesn't matter how many you order, they constantly sell, they always eventually sell out. Restock of John Coltrane's Love Supreme UHQR. I got a restock of Steely Dan's Countdown to Ecstasy. This is one I'm glad I got back in stock. It was out for a little while, but they had to get repressed. Steely Dan Asia, the absolute best this record has ever sounded. It is phenomenal. I did a shootout video of this record. Then I went originally. Then I went back and actually redid that shootout. This came out on top. It is unbelievable. I feel like this next release is something that's already been out for a while, but I don't think we ever got it the first time around. But we got it now. This is the Depeche Mode Violator 12-inch singles box set. This is the one everybody wanted. I feel like this thing was going for like hundreds of dollars over list. But I don't know. Maybe they just didn't make enough of them the first time and did a repress. But they're numbered. But sometimes with numbered box sets, for instance, like the Steely Dan Asia, I think they're doing 30,000 of those. But they don't do all 30,000 of them at once. They do them in chunks. 30,000. Can you imagine how much space 30,000 UHQR box sets take up? So they do them in chunks. And that might have been the thing that happened with the Depeche Mode. And then they ended up maybe running out the rest of them. I'm not sure. But it's a great box set. It's obviously the most desirable of all the box sets they've done because it's what is now considered their best album and definitely their most popular album. Okay, the next three Analogue Productions Atlantic 45 RPM series finally came in. Haven't even had a chance to listen to them yet. They literally just got here a couple hours ago. John Coltrane's Giant Steps. This is one that is like a no-brainer. Just because the early Atlantic records are just noisy as shit. They're just so noisy. Doesn't matter how minty and clean the record is. The vinyl was a little on the crummy side. So the Atlantic stuff is always a welcome. And I also got my favorite things. Mastered and cut to lacquer from the original master tape on both of these according to the Sparse code. I want to say Kevin Gray did both of these from memory, but I could be wrong. Stone Temple Pilots Core. So I'm showing you this. If you pre-ordered this from me, it is on the way to you, but I got enough to cover my pre-orders. I have to wait for the repress to get enough to cover, for additional stock. Unfortunately, I was allocated on this, but if you pre-ordered it, I definitely got enough to cover the pre-order. Oh man, this Johnny Little title was awesome. I listened to this a couple of days ago when it came in. People in Love, this is part of the Jazz Dispensary series. All analog, cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray. Pressed at RTI, really nice, like a textured cover. This was a great record. Also another great record. Ron Carter with Eric Dolphy and Mal Waldron. Where is the name of the record? But they just, again, like just a linen type textured cover, like the Village Vanguard, the Bill Evans Live at the Village Vanguard. They just did an absolutely incredible presentation on this title. Also, another Verve series title from the Acoustic Sounds Verve series stuff. This is Ella Fitzgerald, Clap Hands. Here Comes Charlie. Great record. All the Ella Verve stuff is just fantastic, and I like the fact that it's at 33 RPM. It's like I love these Ella Fitzgerald records. I don't find myself putting I own the 45s that have been done, but I don't find myself wanting to put the 45s on. It's just one of those titles I like. I want to hear it as a 33. Albeit expensive, this is pretty cool. AC/DC, Back in Black, 50th anniversary, but this is a special edition on black and white vinyl. This was imported from, where is this coming from? This is a Sony Italy import. So this isn't, I had to import this from Italy, so it's not cheap, but it's cool because it's a special edition black and white vinyl, includes a unique insert and custom labels. So, pretty cool. From Sub Pop, Shabazz Places, Robed in Rareness. That is, I don't feel like this is something I'll probably ever listen to. Who knows? I'll probably listen to it. It could be great. But this is one of the coolest covers ever. This guy is hanging out by a payphone next to one of those 25-cent horse rides with two giant pythons on leashes. Gold chains. What's this coming up? We've got it categorized as rap and hip hop. Cool cover. Soundtrack to The Virgin Suicides. Clutch. God, Clutch really, they do this all the time and it's fantastic. So this is Transnational Speedway League. Remastered audio, limited edition, 180 gram colored vinyl, but each one of these includes an artist's autographed numbered insert. And it's got this really cool embossed cover. This is the Clutch Collector Series small, oh, it's a small batch. Not a one-step, but just a small batch. Gentle Giant, The Missing Piece. This is the 2024 Steve Wilson remix on green vinyl. Sonic Youth, Walls Have Ears. This is a limited edition yellow and red clear vinyl variant. Because I've had this before, but that's a variant. Okay, Blue Oyster Cult. Tyranny and... This is... God, is this a new arrival? So Tyranny and Mutation. I feel like this has come out from Music on Vinyl before, but probably not. Music on Vinyl also, Blue Oyster Cult. Secret Treaties. Music on vinyl as well. Alice Cooper's Trash, music on vinyl. This is limited to 2,500 copies on translucent blue and red marble vinyl. This is number 925. All right, a Record Store Day indie exclusive. Pale Royale Boom Boom Room. These people look under the influence of something. All right. Body Language. Oh. Kylie Minogue. God. What year did this come out? 2003. Makes me want to do The Locomotion. It's the only song I know by her. I'm sorry. And it's just the cover, right? That was her, The Locomotion. I'm pretty sure that was, she did the cover of it. Indigo Girls. This is the self-titled Indigo Girls, music on vinyl. Sheryl Crow, Evolution on gold metallic colored vinyl. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, Raise the Roof. This is a variant on Coke bottle green vinyl. Aaron Lewis, The Hill on Coke bottle vinyl. Tom Z, Todos os Olojos on Elemental Music. Andre 3000, I actually listened to this because I was kind of curious because it came up as jazz. And the processor in the back is like, oh, the guy from Outkast, this is jazz? And I'm like, let's listen to it. So I put it up and yeah, this is kind of like an avant-garde-ish, not crazy, not off the wall, not Archie Shepp type avant-garde, but a little bit on the avant-garde side with didgeridoos, that type of instrumentation. I listened to it, it was good. I didn't turn it off. I'm gonna listen to this a couple more times. I enjoyed it. It's a big fat triple disc record. Warning, no bars. Don't know what that means. But yeah, this was pretty good. One of the best albums ever on the label, CTI. Absolute great. Fantastic record, highly recommend it. That is Red Clay by Freddie Hubbard. This is the music on vinyl version, limited to 1,500 copies on gold and red marble. If you don't have this record, it's really good. Freddie Hubbard, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Joe Henderson, and Lenny White. Awesome drum breaks on that record as well. Comeback Kid. This is the Trouble EP on clear and black red splatter vinyl, limited to 1,000 copies. right, what is this? Peavine. Lightning Hopkins, the legendary Lightning Hopkins Blue Lightning. I really have dug the blues reissues that they've done. They've been solid. They're doing titles like, I don't care if you could go back in time and buy this record brand new in your Mr. Peabody Wayback Machine. Anything that was ever put out on Crown is absolutely atrocious. If this was a cassette tape manufactured today, it would sound better than the original on Crown if it was brand new. But yeah, Howlin' Wolf sings the blues. So they're really doing some absolutely fantastic blues titles on labels that are notorious for low quality crummy stuff back in the day. Weldon Irvine on Strata East. Very difficult record to get. Very high dollar. But yeah, Peavine's doing a reissue. Part of their Groove Diggers series. And another one. Weldon and the Cats. Again, like all these Private Press Nudlow records. I think this was on Nudlow originally. Yeah, Nudlow, which is actually Weldon spelled backwards, but that was his label. Very difficult to find. Almost all of his stuff on Nudlow is like $1,000 record. This is kind of cool. This is a European import of Holes. Lived Through This on pink vinyl. Houdini, Open Sesame, music on vinyl, limited to 500 copies on translucent yellow. They didn't, limited, but they didn't number them. Ennio Morricone, Bossa and Groove on clear red vinyl. Made in Italy. Got some more Ennio Morricone. Thrillers and Noir on clear yellow vinyl. Ennio Morricone. God, this is fantastic just because of the cover alone. This is Ennio Morricone's A Fistful of Westerns. Yeah, a few more dollars. Once Upon a Time in the West. Let's see. It looks like a kind of series, right? Okay, from music on vinyl, we've got Sponges, Rotting Pinata. Limited to 1,500 copies on red and black marble vinyl. This is 1,025. Oh, this is an absolute killer record. Highly recommend this. Idris Muhammad, House of the Rising Sun. Originally on Kudu. Great cover of, well, not really a cover because House of the Rising Sun itself is kind of a cover. But his version of House of the Rising Sun, awesome. The Dinner Party, Prelude to Ecstasy. Two versions of, well, Fletcher, In Search of the Antidote. This is on translucent light colored vinyl. Well, that's a very erotic back photo there, without being something I can't show you. And we've got the translucent light blue. Oh. Nope, they're two separate ones. Translucent light color. Wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? They've got two separate barcodes on the back. They messed up and they put the same hype sticker on both. But they're different records because they're barcoded differently. Check the website. We've got two versions of these. That'll be correct on there tomorrow. Or today, you know, when you're watching this video. Dylan Gossett, No Better Time. Is he kind of recording this record in his bedroom? Elbow, Audio Vertigo. Audio Vertigo on blue vinyl? Yeah, same albums, two color variants. And they changed the color up and the album itself, cover. Sierra Farrell, Trail of Flowers. Rides Interplay, limited edition, double blue vinyl variant. Or maybe not. Maybe they're all blue. Maybe it's a limited edition where every single one is on blue. That's very possible. Orange County, the soundtrack. This is a Fruit Punch pressing limited to 500 copies from Real Gone Music. Logic 1000, Mother. Him, Tears on Tape, on limited edition mint green marble vinyl. Chicano Batman. Actually got a few of their records. I dig Chicano Batman, especially those first couple of records are really good. This is on clear vinyl. Larry Fleet, Earned It. This is a new version of 10,000 Maniacs, Twice Told Tales. Let's see, traditional folk songs of the British Isles. I think this is a new version. It was new for us anyways. It's got like 3 barcodes on the back, but reasonable. It's an LP for $16.99. That's like 2008 pricing. All Time Low, Unplugged, on electric blue vinyl. Gregory Isaacs, No Luck, on translucent orange vinyl. Taco Cat, Nevermind, metallic gold pressing. Bunch of gum from a candy machine. Sum 41, Heaven and Hell. This is the red and black quad with blue splatter. From Sub Pop, we've got Shabazz Places, Exotic Birds of Prey. This cover, not as good. This is the Loser edition, which to them is a first pressing, special color they reserve for the first pressings. After that, it typically goes into black vinyl. So I've got a good chunk of Analogue Productions, restocks, and then some other stuff I'll show you. Restock as well. Blue Note Classic, Miles Davis, Volume 2. From my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list, and it is fantastic, Paul Simon's Graceland. Probably like one of the most iconic records of the 80s. A record that I have not been able to keep in stock, no matter how many I order. It's one of those things I feel like if I ordered like 1,000 of these, I'd be having them for the rest of my life. But if I order less than that, it's never enough. But fantastic record. Electric Warrior, this is the all analog cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray version. Very reasonably priced. It's kind of like a Rhino, the same presentation of as like a Rhino hi-fi title. But really, really solid title for 25 bucks. Also from my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list, Neil Young's Harvest. Again, a reasonably priced record, especially with that cover. Restock of Led Zeppelin's Houses of the Holy. These are test titles that are like big titles that I haven't had in a while because they've been waiting a repress. Pearl Jam's 10. Metallica's Ride the Lightning. Van Halen 1. George Benson's Breezin'. I don't know why they put that in there. ZZ Top's Rio Grande Mud. The Doors 13. I don't know why she put these in here. I feel like normally these wouldn't be put in here. Black Sabbath. This is the black vinyl version. No, this is the import Black Sabbath on Vertigo. So here they're Rhino. Overseas, they put them on Vertigo. And a restock of Jimi Hendrix RU Experience. This is actually all analog, cut from the master tape for, 20 bucks. Okay, a restock from Analogue Productions, Cooking with the Miles Davis Quintet. These are absolutely dynamite. Highly recommend them. There's 50 of these, 25 titles in stereo, 25 titles in mono. The whole series is like must own. Miles Davis, we've got Jackie McLean's Lights Out. Self-titled Coltrane. So Coltrane, Prestige 7105. One of the most remarkable records you'll ever hear. People are blown away every time I play it, but you'll never think about it because it's Tennessee Ernie Ford. And you're like, yeah, that's a dollar record nobody wants. But if you listen to this, it's mind-boggling good. Demo record. Got it in the sound room. It's one of the 50 records back there. Lightning Hopkins, The Blues of Lightning. Kenny Burrell's Bluesy Burrell. Also from my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list, the 3-disc version of Elvis's 24-karat hits. DCC did this as well a few years back. Awesome. The Doors, Morrison Hotel, and I got a restock of Strange Days. And two more. We've got Muddy Waters Folk Singer. This is the 33 RPM version. Did a shootout video. Those were very highly ranked, the 45 and the 33. And this is the 45 RPM version of Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. He'll be in town here, I think, in a very short amount of time. I need to look at that because I want to go see it. Got to get some tickets. All right, guys, check us out online at theinggroove.com. Until next time.